It's late. You're not sure exactly when it started. This thought, this particular turn of it. You've been here before. Tonight and every night before it. Not the same thought always, but the same structure. The same quality of motion. Something cycling through again and again without arriving anywhere. You replay the conversation. You find the thing you should have said. You rehearse the version where it went differently. You consider what they were probably thinking. You imagine the follow-up, the possible responses, the way it might still turn out. You reach a tentative conclusion. And then, without deciding to, you start the loop again. 40 minutes. No new information. No decision made. No action possible tonight. Just the thought. And the thought again. And the thought one more time with slightly different emphasis. As if volume could produce what repetition hasn't. There's a tightness somewhere. The chest, maybe. Or behind the eyes. The specific fatigue of a mind that has been running without going anywhere. You tell yourself you'll sleep after this one last consideration. You don't.
Here is the question I want to begin with. The one that most content about overthinking never actually asks. What is all this thinking trying to do? Because it is clearly not producing answers. You are not arriving at solutions tonight, or you would have arrived already. The thinking isn't productive, but it keeps going. Something is driving it. Something urgent enough to override the desire to sleep, the desire to rest, the desire to stop.
What is it? Because until you understand what the loop is actually for, you cannot understand why it won't stop. And until you understand why it won't stop, every technique you try will be working around the wrong problem. Let me tell you what the research says first. Dr. Susan Nolen-Hoeksema spent decades studying the pattern that most of us call overthinking. She named it rumination, and she was careful about the distinction between rumination and something that looks superficially similar, but is entirely different. Reflection is purposeful. You examine a situation with a clear question in mind, a time limit, and the intention of reaching something useful, a decision, a perspective, an understanding. Reflection leads somewhere. When it has done its work, it concludes.
Rumination is passive. It has no clear question, no time limit, and no exit. It circles the same territory without landing. It produces no decision, no new perspective, no actionable understanding. It is, as Nolen-Hoeksema documented, reliably associated with depression and anxiety, not as a cause necessarily, but as a pattern that sustains and amplifies them.
The crucial finding, the one that changes the entire relationship to the loop, is this. Rumination is not a thinking process. It is an avoidance process. The mind is not actually trying to solve the problem it appears to be thinking about. It is trying to avoid a feeling that sits beneath the problem. And that feeling cannot be thought into submission. It can only be felt, which is why the loop never ends on its own, because thinking cannot do what only feeling can accomplish. This is not a small insight. It is, for many men, the first time they have encountered an explanation of their own interior experience that actually accounts for what they observe. They are not unintelligent. They are not undisciplined. They are not choosing to overthink. They are in a loop that is trying to protect them from something. and protecting them so thoroughly that it is consuming them. Understanding this is the beginning of being able to set it down. Let's build the picture more precisely. A thought arises, typically about a situation that carries some emotional weight. A relationship difficulty, a professional uncertainty, a conversation that didn't go as intended, a decision that needs to be made but cannot be made yet because not enough information is available. The thought carries a feeling with it. In many cases, that feeling is uncomfortable. Anxiety, embarrassment, fear, shame, anger. The specific emotion varies, but the quality is consistent. It is an emotion that, at some level, the man would prefer not to feel directly. So the mind does what it has been trained to do. It tries to manage the emotion through analysis. If I can understand this well enough, the analysis suggests, I can control it. If I can find the right framing, the right perspective, the right sequence of considerations, the discomfort will resolve. I can think my way to safety. And this has worked before. Analytical thinking is genuinely useful for many problems. The man who is a strong thinker has probably solved real problems with it, and understandably trusts the process. But some problems are not solved by thinking. They are emotional problems, not logical ones. And the thinking, however sophisticated, cannot reach them. So the mind tries harder. More analysis, more angles, more hypothetical variations. The loop runs again, looking for the exit that will come if it can just get the framing right. The exit never comes, because the exit is not in the analysis. The exit is through the feeling the analysis has been trying to avoid. This is what Nolen-Hoeksema's research established across decades of work. Rumination is not a thinking problem. It is an emotional processing problem. The thinking is a defense, a genuinely ingenious, remarkably persistent defense against the simpler and more uncomfortable act of sitting with what is actually felt. And the man who understands this is no longer in a war with his own mind. He is in a much more navigable situation. He knows what the loop is for. He knows why it can't work. And he knows, for the first time, what he actually needs to do instead. This deserves its own section. The pattern Nolen-Hoeksema described is universal. It is not unique to men. But there is a specific reason men are particularly vulnerable to its most exhausting forms of coffee. Most men were not taught to feel their feelings. They were taught to manage them. Not through suppression, necessarily, though that too. Through analysis, through action, through distraction. Through the entire repertoire of strategies that a culture organized around self-sufficiency provides to a boy who's distressed and needs a way to be something other than distressed. The analytical mode, the loop, is, in a very real sense, a culturally provided tool for processing emotion without appearing to process emotion. It looks like thinking. It sounds like problem solving. Nobody watching a man who is lying awake, analyzing a situation, would necessarily identify it as a feeling he is avoiding. But that is what it is. The man who has never been shown that emotions can be experienced directly, sat with, named, felt in the body, and allowed to pass, has only one tool available when the feeling arrives: the analytical loop. And so he uses it, night after night, conversation after conversation, problem after problem. not because he is weak or avoidant in some conscious sense, because it is the only tool he was given. Understanding this changes the quality of the relationship to the pattern. It is not a character flaw. It is an adaptation, a reasonable response to a specific kind of training. And it can be changed, not by acquiring willpower or practicing better time management or using an app that tracks your screen time, but by learning something more fundamental. How to be present with what is actually felt. Here is the most important section of this episode. If you are in a loop tonight, or any night, there is a feeling underneath it. Something specific. Something that has been there since before the analysis began. The loop isn't searching for an answer to the problem it appears to be addressing. It is searching for permission to feel what is already present. It doesn't know that. The mind does not experience it that way. It experiences itself as genuinely trying to resolve the situation through better analysis.
But the more honest description, the description Nolen-Hoeksema's research supports, the description that makes the most sense of why the loop never ends, is this. The thinking is running around the feeling, circling it, approaching it, and retreating, getting close to what is actually there, and then pulling back into another round of analysis. Because the feeling, named directly, would be more uncomfortable than the loop. The feeling might be, I am afraid of being rejected by this person. The loop doesn't say that.
The loop analyzes what they probably meant by what they said, and what I could say to ensure they understand me correctly, and whether the dynamic is sustainable, and whether I said the right thing in the first conversation. The feeling might be, I am ashamed of how I handled that. The loop doesn't say that. The loop replays the scene, finds the version in which I handled it better, rehearses the response I should have given, and wonders whether the other person is still thinking about it. The feeling might be, I am genuinely uncertain about the future, and that uncertainty is frightening. The loop doesn't say that. The loop projects forward, models scenarios, identifies risks, reassesses plans, finds contingencies, and starts the projection over. In every case, the direct statement, the naming of the actual feeling, is what the loop is avoiding. And in every case, the naming of the actual feeling is also what the loop is looking for. Because once it is named, it can be felt. And once it is felt, really felt, with patience and without judgment, it passes. Not immediately, not without discomfort, but it passes. The loop never passes because it never arrives at what it's actually searching for.
Marcus Aurelius did not write the Meditations as a guide to mental health. He wrote them as private notes to himself, reminders of what he believed, challenges to his own thinking, the ongoing work of a man trying to govern himself as carefully as he governed an empire. But running through them, consistently, is a specific understanding of the mind that has not been improved upon in the 2,000 years since.
The mind, Aurelius understood, is a tool. It is immensely powerful. It is the source of all genuine wisdom and all genuine action. But it is a tool, which means it serves a purpose, and that purpose is not to run continuously. He wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." This is quoted often, and frequently misunderstood. It is not a call to ignore the future or forget the past. It is not a meditation instruction or a piece of productivity advice. It is a philosophical discipline. The future, Aurelius observed, does not exist yet. Thinking about it beyond what is required for present action does not change it. It merely adds suffering to the present moment. The past, equally, is gone. Thinking about it beyond what is required for present learning produces nothing except the re-experience of events that are finished. What exists is now. The action available is now. The choice that is genuinely yours is now. The disciplined mind, the mind that has been trained rather than merely used, confines itself to what is actionable. When a situation requires thought, it thinks. When thought has produced what it can produce, it stops. The thought does not continue past its usefulness because the mind has learned to recognize the point at which it is no longer serving a purpose and has become an indulgence. Aurelius was not describing something easy. He was describing the result of years of deliberate practice, the ongoing effort to notice when the mind had gone past usefulness and to bring it back. But he was also describing something specific. The mind that has been disciplined in this way does not produce less clarity. It produces more, because it is not wasting its capacity on loops that lead nowhere. When it thinks well. And when it is not needed, it rests. The man who mistakes endless analysis for intelligence has the relationship backwards. The disciplined mind is not the one that thinks most. It is the one that thinks best and knows when to stop. The Stoic emphasis on the present moment is not passive. It is one of the most demanding practices in the philosophical tradition. To confine the mind to what is actionable now requires, first, the honest recognition of what is not actionable now. Most of what fuels the loop is not actionable. The conversation has already happened. The decision cannot be made until more information arrives. The person's reaction is beyond control. The future outcome is unknown. None of this can be changed by thinking about it tonight. Recognizing this, genuinely, not as a verbal formula, but as a lived understanding, produces something that merely knowing it does not produce. It creates a pause, a moment in which the mind can be seen doing something that isn't serving any real purpose. And in that moment, the alternative becomes available. The alternative is not think about something else. That is suppression, and suppression doesn't work. The thought returns with additional urgency, the way a held breath eventually forces its release. The alternative is what is actually present right now. Not what might happen tomorrow, not what should have happened yesterday. What is actually here, now, in the body, in the feeling, in the lived moment that the loop has been obscuring. This is the practice, and it begins always with the body, because the body is always in the present. The mind can travel to the past and future, but the body remains here. The chest, the jaw, the shoulders, the breath, these are present tense without effort. They are the anchor the mind can return to when the loop begins, because they cannot lie about where they are. Sitting with what is in the body, without analysis, without narrative, without the question of what it means or what to do about it, is the act that the loop was trying to achieve, but couldn't. It is the moment of genuine contact with what was actually there all along. And from that contact, something the loop never produced becomes available. Not a solution, something quieter and more reliable than a solution. Presence. The practices in this episode are not techniques. They are orientations, ways of relating to the mind differently. And they require repetition, not to master, but to remember, which is a different kind of effort. But there is one question that, asked honestly in the middle of the loop, interrupts its structure more reliably than anything else. Not, what should I do about this? That continues the loop. Not, why am I thinking about this? That starts a new loop. The question is, what am I feeling right now that I have not yet named? Ask it. Then wait. Not for an answer that comes from the analysis, for an answer that comes from the body, the chest, the stomach, the throat. What is actually present? Name it as specifically as you can. Not, I feel bad. More specific. Anxious about a specific outcome. Ashamed of a specific moment. Afraid of a specific loss. Uncertain about a specific future. The more specific the naming, the more effective it is. Because specificity is contact. Vagueness allows the loop to continue. Specificity lands somewhere. Once named, do not immediately try to fix it. Just be with it for a moment. Let it be what it is, a feeling in a body, in a moment that will pass. It is not dangerous. It is not permanent. It is not evidence of anything except that you are human and something has mattered to you. That is what the loop was trying to say all along. And once it has been said, once the feeling has been named and met rather than analyzed and avoided, something that cannot be produced by any amount of analysis arrives. The loop slows. Sometimes it stops. Not because the problem is solved, not because a solution has been found, but because the mind is no longer trying to do something it was never designed to do. The thinking has served its purpose. The rest is allowed. Sleep often follows from here. Not because the problem is solved, but because the man is no longer running from it. Come back to where we started. The late hour, the tight chest, the thought cycling for the 5th time through territory it has covered many times before. That loop was not a failure of intelligence. It was not a sign of weakness. It was not evidence that something is broken in the way your mind works. It was a signal, a persistent, exhausting, occasionally maddening signal from a part of you that has been trying to be heard through the only channel that was available to it. Something was felt, something real, and the loop was the only way the mind knew to approach it without the vulnerability of actually feeling it. Nolen-Hoeksema's decades of research come down to this: the loop cannot end within itself. The exit is not through more analysis. The exit is through the feeling the analysis has been circling. Name it. Meet it. Let it be what it is.
Marcus Aurelius, in the privacy of his own notes, returned to this again and again. The mind that has learned to confine itself to what is real and present is not a lesser mind. It is a more powerful one. It is the mind that works when it is needed and rests when it is not. The mind that thinks well, precisely because it does not think always. You have a powerful mind. The question is not whether it is powerful enough. The question is whether you are its master or its subject. The practice of confining yourself to the present, the practice of naming what is actually felt rather than analyzing what might be the case, is how the answer to that question gradually changes. Not all at once, not tonight necessarily, but one loop interrupted, one feeling named, one moment of genuine presence instead of circular analysis. That is how the mind is trained. One genuine act of mastery at a time. Here's the one thing worth carrying. The loop is not looking for an answer. It is looking for a feeling that has not yet been named. The man who understands this stops fighting his own mind. He stops trying to outthink the thinking. He asks the quieter question: what is actually here, underneath all of this? And he discovers, almost every time, that what was underneath it was never as dangerous as the loop suggested. It was just a feeling. Feelings, named and met, do not require a solution. They require a moment of honest attention. Give yourself that tonight. I'll see you in the next one.